What should the portfolio look like? Let's go ahead and think of it as a what should not. What should a portfolio not look like? Too concentrated, which means a handful of stocks in certain sectors. If you love technology, you love gadgets and goodies and things like that, and so you buy Intel, Apple, Microsoft, all those little tech companies, maybe some ones you might not, or most won't know about, you balance your entire portfolio on those names alone. Well, if they do well as a whole, you do well. But usually what affects one stock affects other stocks like it, and that's why I group stocks into sectors. Potentially that sector could do poorly and your entire portfolio would do poorly. Versus if you spread the stocks around different sectors like financials and utilities and retail, things like that, energy stocks, you would not be hurt as badly if the tech sector goes poorly for a few months, if not a few years. It also should not be too conservative. Really shouldn't be. You never, ever want to see a portfolio stacked with bonds. That doesn't really make sense. It's not a portfolio. It's a bond folio. It doesn't really affect this. It doesn't really make that much sense. It's too conservative. But you also don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to have all these Netflix-style gains. It could make you a lot of money, but could, like we saw with FXCM or other things like Chipotle, or not Chipotle, with Netflix and Crocs, could collapse. Not something you want to see happen. And a little quote, the unexamined life is not worth living. The unexamined portfolio is also not worth having. We do not want to hold and hope. We don't want to put our head in the sand like an ostrich and just hope that what we made a decision one day or one afternoon or spent 1 weekend thinking about it will be the same for the rest of our life. We don't want to do that. We want to examine our portfolio. And the same thing, we also do not want to have a portfolio that's unadjusted. Same principle, but if you get married, if you buy your first house, if you are fired, or if something happens in the job market and you retire, you don't want to keep your portfolio the same. You don't want to do that. And it's full and exotic and exciting, and those little growth stocks or those names that can be really big wins, those are fun. We talked about bonds being really boring. They are. Bonds have their place. We don't want an entire portfolio of really exciting Netflix-style companies. We saw how big Netflix fell. That can easily happen, and then you're in a bad position.